Before I talk about this chapter, I just want to let you guys know that I'm reading this webtoon on Webtoons called Sisters at War. It's a it's a Korean webtoon where two sisters are fighting for their mother's approval to show who's the better artist. You know, it's more to it, but I'm gonna get into it when it comes to the plot. It's that one sister was the popular one, and she had high expectations until it turns out that one she was bullying mostly in class was actually the real daughter. So now they're fighting to see who has mother's approval. One is perfect at everything, while the other has high standards into the way she's supposed to live. There's a lot more into it, but that's all I'm getting to it. I'm talking about this because this situation reminds me a little bit of that webtoon, Sisters at War. The situation between Norn and Aisha, you know, how the reason why they are. And in a way, once again, you can blame the parents for this kind of thing. Last chapter, they had to take the test to see who can stay and who can go. And you couldn't do that well. For Aisha, she had to go to the school, but if she passed the test, she can stay home. And guess what? Aisha passed that test with flying colors. She has a very cocky attitude, but she has the brains and skills to back it up. She's extremely smart and talented, but all she wants to do is to help out Rudius. Well, Norn, on the other hand, was a bit below average in a way. She's not talented, not good at anything, but she still tries her best. But nonetheless, it's just to be unexpected when it comes to someone who's from, Rudius' side family. And this brought on some serious insecurities. The question is who have the insecurities first. And I've always wondered what would have happened if Rudius grew up with his sisters. Would they be different from who they are now? As I've always wondered that in a way, where they wouldn't be always hating each other, but more fighting for Big Brother's approval in a way. That would be a lot more interesting. But we have this, which also is still very, very good. And it shows when Rudius allows Norn to stay in the girls' dorm at the school, even though she passed, but barely, in a way. And this is where Aisha breaks down because of the life standards in that world, where Aisha is seen as the mistress's daughter, the stepsister. Not just sister, but stepsister, in a way. And because of that, nonetheless, it was to the maid, by the way. So because of that society, especially living in Millis, remember, Norman and Aisha are still kids, little kids. So the fact that all Aisha knew in her life was that she is the step sister and she must serve the family, while Norn is actually a daughter of actually two nobles. Believe it or not, Paul and Zenith are both former nobles who abandoned their name to find love with each other. But nonetheless, she is still supposed to be a high-ranking noble. With that being said, they were living with their grandmother. And the grandmother is a piece of work, man. Wait until you see. It's been a while, but if they ever do get to that part with the grandma, which is way into the series, it's gonna be crazy. The grandma is the reason why these two are like this, why they can't really get along and why they kind of despise each other in a way is because this grandma. The grandma wanted to raise Norn to be the high up society lady, while she raised Norn to look down on Aisha. So because of that, Aisha had no one backing her corner, so she had to do whatever she can to survive and have some sort of confidence. So she did her best to study, to do whatever she can, so she won't be looked down upon. This is the reason why she's so smart. So because of this, it retaliated where the grandmother would yell at Norn for being outclassed by the stepsister. How dare you be outclassed by this lower ranked person? That's how it was for poor little Nor. So this fluctuation of insecurities was circling around because of this grandmother that they were forced to live with. So after Paul hearing this, he wanted them to go and live with Rudius instead. And I think that's for the best. And because of this, Norn doesn't really have a good impression on most people. Only three people she really cares about that have a good impression on. That's Paul, Zenith, of course, and Ruijerd. Everybody else she sees as an enemy, as everyone's just against her because they see her as a failure and stuff. So I should have had that breakdown where she felt like Norn can just get whatever she wants despite not trying, but Norn is trying. And it's that she doesn't see it that way because, once again, Mushoku Tensei, say it with me, it's all about perspective. Of course, it's also about trying your best, but to me, how I always visualize the story is perspective all the time. It's because every time we see a character, when I first read the web novels and thought of Norn, like feeling this girl's God, this girl, get over this already. Everyone forgave Rudius, everyone moved on, but you, and you keep saying how Rudius is a bad person, even though he's trying his best. You leave a good impression, but it's too late. The first impression was terrible, but nonetheless, I guess because Rudius didn't have time to really spend with Norn to show him that he's a good guy. Norn's only impression of him is what happened back then when they were fighting. So, which, once again, perspective in a way. Because in Norn's eyes, Paul was this hero who was going around helping people. And he could just be focusing on helping his family, but he was helping other people along the way. And seeing how tired he was, that was through the eyes of Norn. She saw this hero, this guy, who's just doing the right thing. So she saw this kid out of nowhere beating up on him. Of course, she's going to take Reese as a bad person. We all know he's not. It's all about perspective and how people view people in certain events and situations. That's just how it is, unfortunately. How do we overcome it? Well, that's up for each and every one of us. So, yes, Norn will be living on the dorms. Now, even though she got what she wanted, is it what she needs? We'll have to wait and see. I actually definitely got what she wanted, and I guess that's probably what she needs, in a way. You have to treat these two differently. Despite how treating them fairly doesn't mean you treat them the same. You have to handle each situation differently, because each person is, different. You got to handle them a different kind of way, so you know what they like and what they don't like, So, like I said, I enjoy this part. I think this is volume 11 of the light novels. So I did enjoy this part stuff because you get to go into the psyche of these two sisters and see what's going on. One is cheery and hopeful, while one is very depressing and paranoia. So I do enjoy diving into the perspective of these two sisters and how they view the world from their standpoint. So that being said, I'll end it here. This one was kind of under my radar. It came out during the beginning of this week, but I didn't realize it because it didn't pop up on the app I usually use to read it, which a lot of stuff has not been popping up on that app for some reason. So, yeah. Thank God for that. So, I found it. I just gotta check on the app I'm using right now for now on and see if that works. So, that being said, I'll end the video here. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, of course, hit that bell icon. This has been Madcrownxox on Anime. Signing out.